even though I had a whole two-way authentication and everything, some of these IT guys are very savvy, It takes less than anything to hack whatever. But anyway, it's good to see you back. Sorry, you guys caught me at the pharmacy to pick up something. It's really cold here, you
Oh,
know. Yeah.
you came to
Anyway, you said what?
you came to buy Postino in the pharmacy.
She said,
No,
don't come. She
I-
said, don't come, not posting. She said, don't
I
come.
said I came to buy some cough medication. It's so cold.
Okay.
So I came to the pharmacy. Postuna, okay. Agba. Ibo lo ti ń po tó ti ń nà. No. No. Anyway, to add to what the lady said, I lived in an 8-bedroom house, and we shared the same room. However, because I married a man who was very, very busy. He was a physician. He was a medical doctor, almost always on call 24/7. I did not sign up to be a personal assistant taking pagers calls at night. So those nights he will go and stay in a different room meant for him to stay so that I can have my peace and still nurture the kids. Like I said in one of my comments, there are different reasons why people tend to share different rooms. It's not because love is not there or they are not copulating or anything is wrong. You gave instances like, okay, if you marry someone like Tony Elumelu or Dangote, some men wake up at night, they work. And you appreciate that and they still do that. Why some women just want to sleep? Because women mentally are more exhausted
Now
and physically.
let's move this around. Imagine you are the one. You see, here's what I believe here. It always sounds convenience. Oh yes, convenience. It makes sense. Let's be convenient. It would. Are you still with the physician?
No, I've been divorced for 12 years now, Daddy Freeze.
Big
I've been divorced. Oh yeah, I've been divorced for 12 years. I mean, I don't know if you're married to a doctor or a nurse, especially here, even back home in Nigeria, when they are on call, it is crazy. The pagers are going off every now and then, which means they have emergency in the emergency room. They need to go. So assuming you both work and you have to wake up the next morning, there is no way you have a partner who is phone calls or pagers are going off. You can get a good sleep and you have to go to work, tend to the family and to the children.
But how come he's getting a good sleep with his pagers going on?
But that is the thing though. When they become physicians, most of them have been trained psychologically, mentally to deal with that because they spent so many years working. So they are used to it. You come in, if you're not in the medical field, it's like a deja vu for you. It can run you, you can go mad. However, somebody made a statement, what if the person snores? Now, there are people who have what we call sleep apnea. When they snore, you cannot stay in that room. And in order not to cause conflict or friction, some of them have other rooms. And some people just love their privacy. And in most...
I can understand work, I can understand sleep apnea. If you are looking for privacy, don't bother getting married.
No.
You can't have privacy in marriage.
Let me tell you something. There are people who are in love, but they cannot function cohabitly with other people that they have to cohabit to individually.
No, that's what you want to marry.
I'm giving you. I am giving you now. I am giving. Please, what you're saying is the logical thing, the ideal thing, but in reality, there are different dynamics, different reasons why certain things happen. Medical reasons, psychological reasons, whatever reasons. And most people, in order for them to keep the peace and sanity in their relationship, do separate but equal. Separate but equal. So whatever you're saying is a traditional norm, as it should be, man and woman in a bedroom. But in reality, there are so many factors that can, hinder that. And not because love each other or because they are not into each other. You know, there's a time we use separate but
And
equal.
if the person is on a big side, that makes it difficult the most, because the person
Yeah.
will wonder, like, I had this friend, I had this boyfriend, he was big. He would use his big hand on me, like, his arm, in the name of cuddling. Oh, goodness, that thing almost...
No, I'm not even looking at body. That is phrase. You know, I work pediatric and adolescent psychiatry. There are people who cannot stay more than 2-3 hours with you in a room. They are claustrophobic. They cannot. Some people have what we call so many terms. So at times we might not.
Marriage is not for everybody.
But marriage, let me tell you, marriage goes.
Marriage, 3 hours.
Marriage, no, marriage goes beyond. No, marriage goes beyond.
You see, tell you something. You listen. If you are like that, you have a condition. You should not marry because you are punishing somebody you are getting married to. You are going to punish a normal person unless for a weary that is like that, like you, that has that condition.
How about people with personality disorders?
That's what I'm saying there. You said condition. I'm not going to.
Everybody deserves to be loved. The fact is not their fault doesn't mean they shouldn't be married. They only have to get a coping skill.
Hold on, guys. There's a certain level of poverty you have. You should not marry. You will punish a person. It's punishment. Do you understand? It's like somebody that does not have a house and he wants to marry. It's not like you don't even have a rented house. You are squatting and you want to marry. You will punish whoever you are going to get married to.
Everyone deserves to be loved and to love.
From just the way you cannot spend more than 2 hours possible. That's the way they can love you from far.
But they need to. It has to do with understanding. If your partner is okay.
Understanding. Listen. You are going to punish me. Okay, for instance, I like being around. If my wife is downstairs for too long, I'll begin to call and say, "Come, why are you not going to come upstairs?"
Same here. I like being around you too.
I'm not going to marry you. You cannot be with a man for more than 3 hours. Then you have to be.
I mean, I'm
punished.
I'm very.
The same you want. I have side chick.
It's not. Okay, let me use this illustration for you.
No, what you are doing is Oyibo people justifying.
No. Okay. No, let me use the Hausas. Okay, let me use the Hausas or those who are into polygamy. When the man has more than 10, 5, 7 wives, how do you think those women cope when he's in other rooms, sleeping with other?
You don't marry, you don't enter polygamy if you are not ready for the nonsense involved in polygamy.
Good. You have just made my point. There are people who marry, but there are reasons why they cannot share room, not because they are not intimate.
I understand. Okay, you can't you can't share room because your career is crazy. Your phone rings all day and all night. You have a sickness. You understand? But you cannot stay with a person in a room. Then you should not be married. Marriage should. No, I disagree. You should not be. If you can't face with somebody, you have no business getting.
No, can I say something to you? Well, why marriage is all about companionship. You know, people used to think marriage is about having sex. It's friendship.
Is that?
It still does not negate the fact that there are people who mentally, psychologically, and for other logically reasons cannot share. But that is not the premise of marriage, though.
So what is the premise of marriage? I think I've gotten it all wrong.
Then, okay, like people can be married, not share the same room. They enjoy each other's company, not just in the bedroom, friendship, gist partner. And there are so many reasons people marry. It's not all about just sharing. I believe in the traditional way of marriage. Stay in the same house.
Hold on. Oyinbo people make excuses for bad behavior.
No.
I understand.
The lady you just had said her parents had different rooms, right? Same can be said for where I
norm that you see, listen, half of the things our parents put up with, you will not put up. What my mother put up with in marriage, you will not put up with it too. You know, go agree 10% of what our parents went through. Now, I
agree that the traditional reason, me and you, one room and everything. However, You know, let me tell you what is happening today. You and I can be having these conversations today because we're beginning to open up to share certain things that we're not, people shun or have had prior. Not because they've not been happening. It's just now we're beginning to talk more about it. It's a more, tolerating society than what it was 20, 30, 40 years ago. But what I'm trying to say to you that this issue of not sharing room has been like that since time immemorial. Just like the issue of divorce, there are some of our parents, right, who they will not use the word divorce, but father lives in Sokoto, mother lives in Anambra, but they are not
Yeah,
divorced.
they are
So there are.
separated, but they'll be forming that they are in a marriage.
But let me tell you, that's why I say to you, you might see it, hi there, how are you? You might see it as the ideal thing to do. Doesn't mean there are not so many factors there that negates both of them being in the same room. So what I'm trying to say, you are seeing it from the traditional point of view, which is what it should be. However, since time immemorial, there has been reasons why couples choose to stay in, not because they don't love themselves, they don't want to be together. And that is why here in America, even back home, you have family room, you have family room and whatever room. Parlor, we call it parlor, and Americans have two parlors. You choose where you want to stay. Most often, family gather together, they do whatever. Then you go behind closed doors, do what you want to do. But you see that when you need that restful sleep, most people just want, I've given you what, done my duty tonight. Good night, darling. You go, I enter, we sleep. Wake up in the morning, we go. Doesn't mean they don't come to each other's common room, but they sleep separately. So what I'm trying to make you understand is that while I agree with your view and values and norms of what marriage should be, also consider the fact where you're giving exceptions to people who have money because they work. There are other factors that negate that fact for people, even when they don't have money, that they cannot sleep in other room. It's not always black and white. That's what I'm trying to say to you.
Or I agree with you, but there are some conditions that I believe are man-made. They are too artificial. Like I have phobia to the point where I cannot share a room. If you have that level of claustrophobia, must you marry somebody? Must you torture somebody's child?
Can I ask you something? Remember, being claustrophobic is a type of mental illness. Doesn't mean
Is it?
they are not entitled to marry. Being claustrophobic is classified under mental illness. It is. So people have different conditions that they might not say the name. Just like
Come on
people
now.
are scared of height. Yes. Just as people are scared of height. There are
We have
people.
Sean, what do you drink?
It's just Coke and whiskey. Just something
Oh,
for
cool.
Thursday evening.
Sean said, don't I have a man cave? I don't have a man cave. It's the same word. Now, let me shout out to all those people who have been buying me stars. Emmanuel Ayomide Lucio, thank you so much. Sent 1,000 stars. Coco Boy sent 1,000.
Coco boy.
Emmanuel Ayomide sent another 500 stars. Irene Adekpoju sent 100 stars. Hilda George, thank you. Becky Consider sent 500 stars. Thank you, guys. To send stars, just come to my Facebook page. Go to your Facebook page, that is. And then from there, search for my Facebook page. And then you can send stars right there. So I'm waiting for you. Thank you very much. Sean, what is your take?
Yeah. So obviously the topic actually relates to me because I sleep separately from my wife most days of the week. It's purely for work reason. I'm a project manager. I'm looking after like 4 countries. We have like 1-year-old daughter that needs to be fed every 3 hours. So there's no way I'm gonna be
Sean,
in the
selfish. Stay with your wife and feed the baby. Sean, yourself. Stay with.
Daddy Freeze.
When baby Chris was a baby, we still shared room. It's just that most of the time I was in Lagos. But even when
Have you heard it? Most of the time I was in Lagos.
I was in yes, and she yeah. But the moment they came to Lagos, we're sharing bedroom.
How old was Baby Freeze when they came to Lagos?
Less than a year.
Really?
Yes.
Well,
And
there's no way I could do it because my daughter wakes every 3 hours. And
hey,
no, it's
man,
true. It's true. My wife is here. She knows. if I'm at home, like weekend or Thursday, Friday, I'll spend the night with her. But during weekdays, that the baby is there.
Hey.
Yeah, that.
but
So,
but you have to make this thing work because
yes.
it's like you can't go to. I mean, if you're a project manager like my sister say, or a medical doctor, and you have a project to complete, and you say, oh, because you haven't had enough sleep, you couldn't complete the completion date or whatever. White people don't care about that. You know,
Lose your
they
job.
don't care about that. They will just tell you like, oh,
You're not productive.
Um, what's that thing called? Agile coach? Is that what you are?
yeah, I'm a Prince 2 project manager. Yeah, like Wilfred, your guy. Yeah, but I think Wilfred is more like a coach. He does he's got like other certifications. Like he's got like almost 6 certifications or something like that. I'll just stay on my lane. I'm just a project manager, Prince 2 project manager.
Oh, okay. There's a name he calls it. Wilfred calls it
Scrum
Scrum
Master.
Master. They
Scrum
have
Master.
Scrum
Scrum Master, yeah.
So many.
So
You have,
I think he does Scrum Master. He's got certification in as a
do you
business
have
analyst. Yes, a product manager and all that. Yeah. I'm looking
Oh,
to scale up to product manager now because I mean product managers are like people who will design like your iPhone and then they will submit it to the project manager and then project manager send it to engineers and all that. So that's
Georgina, do you also do project managing and Scrum too?
Yeah. Remember, I have a master's degree in health informatics. So I do IT. Yeah.
Oh,
To
wow.
want to make, you have to grow. You have to be versatile. Clinical research, health information management, informatics. You just have to. That's why I
that's
said
where the world is moving to now. Anyway, it's like whether people like it or not. By the time baby freeze is gonna grow older or whatever, it's like even my daughter is like IT is where people are moving to now.
yep.
You know, if you look at America now, it's like Tesla, Facebook, they are laying off people. Yeah.
But you IT people, especially when they are programmers, they write the programs for you.
Coders, yeah.
They are coders. It's hard. So, the premise of what we're trying to say, even in Nigeria, imagine a situation people live in Ikeja, they are working in Lekki. Because of traffic, at times they have to wait like 11, 12, right? Then by early morning, 3, they are up so that they can beat the 5 a.m., 6 o'clock traffic. So yeah, now, sure. So there are so many.
Just know that you are eating the bread of sorrow.
Okay,
Just let me tell you, I'm not judging you, but you are eating the bread of sorrow. You are coming home at leaving the house at 3.
That is the reality of so many people. You and I can say this because you are self-employed. People are desperate. So there are situations and conditions that really not allow for husband and wife. Like he said, he's a project manager. If he's working and
You
a
don't
baby is waking,
leave Sean. Sean is not part of this debate today.
Yeah, it's true. I'm telling you.
like
Like
I
there was last
was
week, for
married to a
example. My wife is there. She can tell me if I'm lying. I was last week, for example. She rang me. I was in the office. I had a meeting, and she rang me said, "Oh, my daughter was not feeling well." And I don't know if you guys have heard about the strike with nurses that is going to go on in the UK and ambulance. So she
UK.
rang ambulance, and it was taking a while. So I drove from the office, dropped them to the hospital, stay with them, and then even though I told them in the office that, oh, I need to go, like I can't attend the meeting, by the time I log in around 3:30, I've already had emails straight away. They like white people don't care like that. They're not emotional like us. They don't really care about stuff like that. They just want their stuff to be done.
and that is
We have somebody else with us. Georgina, your smile is looking very. It's like the old.
You're doing too much. I'm gonna go off. Stop now.
I joined you while I'm doing my mommy duty after work.
So let me hear your own side of the story, ma'am.
Yeah, hi, Daddy Freeze.
Yes.
Good evening, everybody.
Darling sister.
Can you just stop? Oh, this little girl would not allow me to talk. Hey, come and say hi to Daddy Freeze.
Hi. Hi, darling. Oh, yeah, let's hear.
Okay. Ooh. I think sharing the same room is fine, in my own opinion.
Okay.
Share the same room. Yeah. That's all I can say. I'm married. I've been married for like 12 years. We share the same room.
Woo! Go, girl. 12 years. That's sweet.
Can you just behave?
They cannot behave. Georgina and Sean, Jonah, they here 12 years and they share the same room. They no die. You.
That difference. You know what? I will say one thing before I go. Yeah. You know, with you, yeah, I think you are the what Nigerian pastor called. You have uncommon favor. Because you can work from home. You don't need to like go through traffic. You know. So
So
that's the reason.
going through traffic. But even that, you see, let me tell you something. Most people have a choice.
Yeah.
I have an uncle who went to build his house in Ogun State and works in VI.
Wow.
Wait, what?
Wow.
For real?
And in his mind, he's justifying the fact that he has build a house. Do you understand? It doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't.
I
That
know
does.
build big houses in Ikorodu, but then they are working in Lekki Phase 1.
Wow.
It doesn't make any sense. You understand? But you see, you will spend all your life in go slow.
Yeah.
You will sleep in, then you will spend more time with your colleagues at work than with your family at home.
But can I say something to you?
Yes.
You know, we are lucky, we're thankful, we're fortunate. There are people who cannot afford not to take that job in Ikoyi while they live in Ikorodu. So
Listen, and live in Surulere, but they will not. They want to save money to do one. I'm telling you, many of them actually, but they want to. They will not live in a rented house. They want to live in their own house.
Sure.
I know the mentality.
Then that is being penny wise, pound foolish.
A
But
lot of. Let me give you an example. When I was staying in my former house, I stayed in a very small house inside my office. I used to work in 2 minutes. Once I get to the backyard of my house, I just step into the office straight. You understand? And my ex office used to be 2 streets away. There were days when she would come out of her office and see that the whole road is blocked by traffic. She would just drive back into her office, park the car, and use her leg to walk home. You understand what I'm telling you? As much as possible, I try to teach people that you don't need to live in a big house if your job cannot afford it. You understand? Nigerians have the mentality of big house.
Yeah.
Then what you have done is you have just created a big space where your children can misbehave and you are not there to watch them.
Yeah.
You understand? Instead of living in a small house in Surulere that is half the journey between Lekki and Ikorodu, you want to live in that big house in Ikorodu.
Yeah.
Instead of living in a rented house in Yaba, you want to live in your own house in Mowe.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that is why education is important. Before
it's
you
not
go start,
education, enlightenment. Most of the people that do this are educated.
no, some people can be educated, but they are not financially educated or smart.
To be fair to what that phrase is saying,
That's what we treat. We don't back home in Nigeria. So if I want to live in Mowe and work in Surulere, before I start building, why didn't I make plans of what I can do around Mowe? You understand? Nigerian factors are quite complex, to be honest. It's very complex. But to go back to the topic at hand of couples, I'm a traditionalist. I love marriage. Marriage is beautiful. Those who have been able to ride it out, God bless them. It's the most beautiful thing. However, there are so many things in marriages that are not just black or white. Professional life, medical life, psychological life, emotional stability doesn't mean that because people fall short in one of those aspects doesn't mean they are not deserving of love or marriage. There's so much to marriage than just copulating or having kids.
Now let me ask Sean. Sean, do you agree me that if you have a problem and you cannot stay with people for more than 2 or 3 hours, do you know do you agree with me that you should not get married? Because
Yes. I mean, I totally agree, because I'm one of those people that believe even before you enter into any sort of unionship, if you know that you have like an unresolved issue, whether being personal, psychological, or whatever, you need to get it fixed and resolved first of all before you go into a unionship. Because like the auntie said earlier on, marriage is not easy. It's not a bed of roses like they paint it to us in Africa. It's basically two people that have been raised differently that are coming together to try to form a life. It's all about give and take. So if you have like some underlying issues that you're working on or whatever, then it's best to get that resolved before you you join a unionship with another person. That's just my own that's my own idea.
You're very correct. Can I say something, Dr. Freeze? For the
yes.
purpose of this conversation, I come from a medical background, even though most people have always known me to be an actor or whatever. For the past 12 years, I've been in the medical field and I've done almost all fields of it. There's a program currently running on CNN. It's called This Life by Lisa Lynn. There was a couple, during this pandemic was a test of faith that most people who call themselves couple got to know if really they were couple.
Yep.
But in the midst of all of that, many people, though we were all locked up in the house, people found themselves the loneliest inside their marriage. The reason I said
a lot of people divorced in the UK.
Yes, not even in America, suicide was high. In America, there was a couple, in order to avert that, there is this what we call artificial intelligence, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they are beginning to make people and doll or whatever, life-size doll. This woman during the pandemic became sick and cannot meet certain needs her husband has. The husband, they've been married for 20-something years. In order not to, whatever frictions or whatever reasons, the wife, he decided to go and buy a doll, a life-size doll with artificial intelligence, and was able to do everything he would do.
I've seen those Chinese dolls.
You understand? The wife is
About
very much aware.
Listen, that's what it is. Georgina, stop giving fancy names to madness. You get wife for house.
I'm trying to say something.
Is she going through chemo?
No, can I say something? So like I said, health reasons made her incapacitated to perform certain function as
Hold on, what health reason did she have?
There are comorbidities, so many I can say to you.
No, what
not allow her.
Let me tell you, Oyinbo people know how to turn everything to disease.
No. For a woman to give a man to say, okay, you have my blessing. So this man bought a life-size doll.
Let me tell you, some women are so lazy down there. They will give you any right you want just so you can give them peace. And I think this is an Oyinbo societal problem. We did not have more divorces in Africa over COVID. We had our own issues.
You don't know that you don't know because there is no data. People don't talk about it.
But you and I something. Oyinbo people are mad by default. And they try to justify their madness. My darling, please work with me on this. The woman that allowed the man to buy the doll is mad. The man that went to buy the doll is mad. The person that even made the doll for them they're all mad people. We're rainbow.
You don't make me
so hungry.
Even in Nigeria. Now let me break it. I'm sure you're aware. That same situation has happened in Nigeria. But instead of live door, because people will frown, they would rather have their husband go and be knocking somebody and keep elsewhere.
Yeah.
Because they are not. See, that the phrase, marriage is sacred.
Let me tell you, a side chick is normal. It's normal.
But I'm talking
so you know that your husband is with a doll and you think it's okay.
But some women, okay, but let me tell you now, she can psychologically deal with a doll, knowing that a doll is not a human being. But others are okay with their husband. So what I'm trying to point, I
okay, so let's stop making excuses. You are making excuses for madness.
I am giving you so many reasons why people don't sleep in the same room. There are so many. Why you and I might be used to, okay, well, we stay in one room. There are so many reasons why people don't stay. And it's like health issues, psychological well-being, financial, so many reasons. Doesn't mean they do not love each other. They are not in a committed marriage.
No,
so that's the reason
there's one that you said that I do not agree with. And
you know what?
Georgina,
You know you're good at doing research. You're good at doing research. I want you to go do research on that. Man did not want to cheat on his wife.
You have been making excuse for abnormal behavior of Wimbo people. We have somebody with us here again. Let us hear you. How are you?
Hi, how are you? Hi, is everybody?
Hi, how are you doing?
Fine. What she's saying is right because I've been in the medical field as well, and during COVID, we had a lot of.
You have been taught by the system to accept marriage as normal. How can you tell me a man and his wife are living inside their house? The woman cannot serve it, so the man goes to buy it.
Daddy Free, she's right.
Because not the bachelor.
Daddy Free, she's right.
Is not right. Sean, please help me. Is this thing right?
let me say this. Sorry, because I know both of them are in the medical field. I think the truth. I think the truth is in between what Daddy Freeze is saying and what the auntie is saying. Because I work in the office, and even like my father is a psychiatrist here in the UK, and we always used to joke that if there was a role play where the Europeans come to Africa and deal with the hardship of what we've normalized in Africa, they would die. They would die. They would die. They haven't got it. They haven't got the tolerance for what we normalize in Africa. They can't deal with it. Europeans can't deal with stress. You know, like if there's a stress situation, you see their face is all gone red or whatever. You know, where you would probably say, "Oh yeah, let me go get a glass of Coke. I'll come back and then, you know, face it again, or go to your pastor to pray for." Europeans can't deal with that, you know, and whether it's nature, whether it's nurture, you know, that's another argument. So I think the truth is in between that. There's a lot of things that has been, a lot of craziness that has been normalized in the society, but it's their society. It works for them that way. But also,
Can I say something?
Yeah,
Sorry
yeah.
for interjecting. The way that the Freeze is saying that, because I made an example to say, same way a woman allowed her husband to get a life-size doll, you know, and that was okay with her. Then I said, just like people having side chick, the fact that Nigerian men normalize side chick, the Western world does not normalize side chick, not because it doesn't happen. So these are different factors.
Yeah, that's what I said. So we've normalized some things, and that
people shun here. So what I'm trying to make that a Freeze is not to change his perspective or purview of what marriage should be. However, throwing a blame like that, if we're not living in the same room, no work. No, we have to make room to know that there are so many dynamics.
I understand. Listen, I understand some situations, but you see, listen, our ancestors had side chicks. In the Bible, they had side chicks. Wait now. Listen, this UK society, let me tell you, when they were writing the Bible, the UK did not exist. When Africans were civilized, the UK did not exist. UK cannot come and tell us what is right and what is wrong. They cannot come and justify their madness. We need to, because listen, because we are hungry in Africa. Because we have mismanaged our resources does not still mean that we will because we want to eat meat, you'll be calling cow, brother.
But that is you're trying. There's a problem. You're using
world. I said this the other day. The Western world has normalized insanity. It is really. You need to understand that and agree with it.
No,
Daddy
Daddy
Freeze.
Freeze, I don't think
That
so. There are
there is
situations.
nothing new.
It's psychological. But
There is nothing
listen,
new under the sun. It has nothing to do with West or the short. We commit more impunity back in Africa in the name of tradition and old age. But there is
no,
nothing new under the
our
sun.
traditions were not allowed to evolve. Listen. Our traditions and their traditions when they what is it called? When they colonized us, were on the same level. Just as we used to use human beings to do ritual, they used to burn witches.
They were doing that
They
too
used
here in
to sell
America.
slaves, and they
Early
saw nothing
90s.
wrong with it. So
Can I say something though? Like,
they came and they forced our society to remain primitive. So we did not evolve. They evolved. But the way we are now, they were like that 500 years ago.
can I just say something? Like I said, I am stuck between Daddy Freeze and the and I was talking earlier on. I mean a perfect example is like the World Cup that is going on in Qatar, for example. The Europeans, for example, wanted to, I'm not going to mention the alphabetic world and impose it over there. And the Qataris are like, no, this thing is illegal in our country. If you don't like our country, don't come, because this is the way we run things. I believe like two rights can coexist, because the way that the Freeze would run his family is not the way I'm going to run my family, as much as I
Thank
might
you.
listen to
Thank
him.
you.
And so
Thank
two
you.
rights can coexist. We have our own culture. Yeah, we have the bads in it, and they also have their own. And that's the way I'm.
That Oyinbo people have normalized.
Yeah.
A human being
Daddy Freeze.
take a watermelon is madness. A man will wake up one day and say he's no more a man, he's a woman. I don't want to say it so that they will not come from my
Yeah.
face.
You don't say, because yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So we just keep quiet. But just know, say, all of una where they live for Igbo land, una they normally normalize putting up with. As una day like this, una they live inside asylum. Una no just know.
But they are coming to Africa to Daddy Freeze. I don't know why you talking.
Now money Sam. If Africa they work, that asylum where una dey with the way they there, una no go dey there. Una know this thing where they talk.
Daddy Freeze, you're not being
Wake up man, they
realistic.
say no be man
No,
again.
Daddy
One
Freeze,
you're
you're
week
not
now,
being realistic. You're not even letting us explain
now is neutral.
situations that can happen.
See,
No,
remember
they
the bone of this conversation is that if you cannot sleep in the same room with your wife, there should be no marriage. I totally disagree. Because
no, I
like
did
I
not
said,
say that.
no, I mean I don't know how you phrase it. That if
Wait,
what is marriage if you
Georgina,
don't sleep in the same room, right? No,
Georgina,
correct
what
me.
I
Correct
said
me if I
was,
don't phrase it.
hold on. Let me tell you what I
Yeah,
said.
this is that's why I'm a cuz.
Let me say what I said exactly. There are some reasons why a couple can't live together. Like some husbands cannot deal with baby crying all night because he has to work. It's understandable. But when it now starts getting to the point where you can't live with me because your brain is wired in such a way that you cannot be around people for more than 3 hours, you have no business being in a marriage. If they allowed you to enter in a marriage, it's because the society you live in tolerates madness. And yes, all of us are mad one way or the other. But there is a level of madness that you should not bring a burden upon somebody else. One, a woman
This
cannot
one
service
is for you.
and then the husband
The
buy
rest
a
is for
dog.
us.
And normal. And it is okay. And the media is as normal. I have a problem with Amo.
The ordinary person like you and I will have issues with that. So
We
that
are
is
not
what I'm
we are
trying.
person inside this. I'm normal. You are normal.
That is what I'm saying to
They
you.
are normal. Let's deal
That
with
is
it.
what I'm saying. That
All
is what
what
I'm
it is.
saying to you. That whatever is permissible to you and I might not
So
be
the
permissible to
moisturizer.
another person, and there might be reasons why that is not permissible for the other person.
Chichi, you are in a noisy place. Love you, sis.
You understand? What is permissible for you and I, what we see, doesn't mean that it is permissible for others. And I've given you so many reasons. We might
I,
frown at it. We might frown at it.
I
Doesn't mean it's not the
agree.
reality. What did you say?
I agree with you on some of the reasons. I will not lie. Some of your reasons make sense. Sleep apnea. But you see, once you don't they read say that they go buy doll. Those ones no. We have somebody here with us. Hello, my sister.
Hello, good morning, Daddy Freeze.
What
Thank you for bringing me up. Thank you. Okay, I have something to say. I've been listening to this conversation. I was so interested, and I totally agree with what Georgina is saying. I agree with what you're saying, Daddy Freeze. But the truth is, for example, I've been married for almost 12 years now, and I don't sleep in the same room with my husband. I can explain to you why.
Oh yeah, let us.
Over the years, I started having blocked nostrils. Even right now, I still have that. So I didn't know it was because of sleeping with too much AC. Because my husband loves AC, like it can't cope with heat. So before I knew it, I had terrible blocked nostrils for years. Like I can't talk very well because of it. Not until after a while, I just started, I can't even just explain. So I have my room, not normally, but we used to sleep together. Until I stopped, like I don't use AC, I don't do anything. And gradually, it stopped entirely, like it just stopped. So when Georgina was talking about health issues, some things that will happen along the line, I totally agree with them. I'm not normal, but that doesn't mean we should normalize some of these things. But sometimes let's try to understand people's perspective and why some of these things happen. I don't know if you all understand. Then when you're talking about disorders, when she was
on health reasons, I am supporting you on getting a doll.
No. I'm not.
So now imagine that because you can't sleep in the same room with your husband, you can't service your husband, so your husband goes to get a doll.
No, but okay, servicing can happen anytime.
No, I'm asking.
It doesn't only happen at night, right?
Like that woman abroad that's I can't do this. Oh, found one sickness that exists in one corner and one.
No, I don't. I won't normalize. What I'm just trying to say, there are different perspectives.
Do you agree with me that Oimbo people normalize madness? Do you agree with me?
True. No, that one is very, very true.
Can I say something real quick?
Keep
using Oimbo. Once we're all human beings, we might be wired differently regardless of culture, race, creed, or wherever. Do you know that even in Nigeria, there are men who are married to their wives just to marry sake?
And it is wrong. It is wrong.
Wait.
Listen, it is wrong.
Let me say something to you. It is wrong for you, but that is how they're wired. I'm not making excuses for any, but I'm just telling you the facts and
you
reality.
Are making excuses,
that some of these men. No, but I'm just giving you, because we tend to not talk. I'm glad we're having these conversations. In as much as some of it might be uncomfortable, or people are not used to it, or they don't think it's not normal. What is normal or not normal to you might be normal or not normal to someone else. So let's try to be, make room that there are certain things that, okay, it's not normal to me, but to some people that's their reality. There are men in Nigeria who cannot copulate with their wives without first. It's either they go have another man do that with their wife and they just sit and watch, and they're okay with that. Yes, in Nigeria. And there are men who will not even copulate with their wife. No, it is normal to them.
No. There's a standard for normal. We have to listen as human beings. We have to have a standard for normal. I cannot say going to urine.
No, Daddy Freeze. There is no.
I'll be sure.
Standard.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. I'm trying to listen to our point.
Can I say something to you? Can I say something to you?
Sociology. Listen. You have now entered my field. I study sociology and psychology. What you are talking about is deviant behavior.
Yeah.
It is deviant. You cannot make an excuse. Okay, so tomorrow I wake up, I say I like children. And why can't you normalize that?
Okay, can I answer that question? Can I answer that question for you? When I use the word mental health,
But you are
Nigerians say only where they are. No, it is not normalizing it. Me speaking it is because I know it is out there. It's reality for so many people. Remember, I used the word medical. When they say medical, they're in the medical.
Hey, Auntie Georgina, don't lose you.
Oh,
So
you can't hear
say
her.
to you now is a comorbidity of factors. So when I say medical reasons, there are also psychological, physiological, and psychological, and other reasons why certain behaviors.
Like a line is breaking.
It is not excuses for wrong behavior. What is wrong to you might not be. People have all
No.
kinds of.
Can I say something though?
Hey, somebody don't come by me.
Georgina, can I say something? Oh, let
My
that freeze.
brother.
Okay.
Sorry,
I
let me
think
hail
that,
the
yeah,
star.
let that freeze.
Sarah, hold on. Sarah Tresawa. Sarah Tresawa just sent me 4,000 stars. 4,000 stars. God bless you, my sister. God bless you. You must be really
So,
enjoying
that
this
is
show.
sometimes I want to say. Sometimes it comes with issues. So there are a lot of couples who start staying together. After a while, just like this health issue I
Network.
talked about now. So in conclusion, is like it's not okay to have your room.
Really making a
Network don't go. Chai.
You're making a really good, valid point. My big brother, I agree with you, whatever you're saying, but I'm trying to make you see there are two sides to it.
I also agree
everything
with
is
what
not
you see,
black
because
or
you've lived
white.
in people's land for so long. You have joined them in normalizing madness.
It's not normalizing it.
It
It
is.
is not normalizing it.
Where to
It's
prove.
Sorry, that freeze. Can I come in? Sorry.
Come in.
speaking it as the reality of what is happening. You know what I mean? It's not normalizing it. I don't pray. I want to be my husband. But doesn't mean that these things are not happening.
Georgina, can I just say something though? Oh,
Yes,
sorry, Georgina. On the topic of normalizing, I 100% agree with Daddy Freeze. There's been a lot of normalizing. I'll give you an example. I'll give I'll, I'll give you an example. When I first started working here in the UK, things like mental health or obesity, you can tell someone like, oh, a doctor can tell someone that like they are obese because of their lifestyle choices or the way they eat or the way they exercise or whatever. Now, even a medical doctor in the UK, you can't tell someone that they are obese anymore because obviously that is classed as body shaming. So, and then when you look at things like mental health in the UK, it's now on the employer. Like if you're in any organization, the organization have to make sure that they have services for mental health within the organization for their own employee. So basically, that's the government saying that we know a lot of our citizens got mental health problem, but you can't not do you cannot either sack them or tell them to look after themselves. You have to make sure that you provide either counseling or whether speaking to a psychotherapist or whatever. You have to provide that facility for them. So there is a bit of, I mean, you can either say whether it's because of we are progressing or whatever, but there is a bit of normalizing that is going on in the Western society now. I do agree with that.
All right, we have
Daddy Freeze.
Let's hear you.
Daddy Freeze, good evening from here.
Good evening. Your final caller. We're rounding off.
Okay, sounds good. Daddy Freeze, I just came in and I read the topic. Husband and wife must share a bedroom. 1 billion, yes, my own opinion. We go make family day together. Like it brings family together, if you ask me, is a bond. Do you understand? I have an uncle lately. That was it last 2 months? Imo State is on fire, like everybody knows. Insecurity is worse and sort of things happening there. So he was speaking with me like, oh, are you guys trying to combat Xmas and stuff like that? Oh, please don't show up. East is really crazy right now. That he hasn't visited village for a couple of days or months now. That the mom comes to Port Harcourt and go back to the village. So I said, okay. So I asked him, why not you and your family migrate to, all his kids are citizens in US. So why can't all of you migrate once for all so that I stay away from these troubles? The man told me that it's possible, but let me tell you, my sister, I cannot stay a day without my wife. That's what he told me. I cannot stay a day. I was like, oh, if you don't want to come, because beginning he was like, how much are they going to pay me? How much is going to be my salary? That he can't. He makes good money in Nigeria. So I told him that the truth is, if I were you, you send your family. So you stay there. That was when he made that comment, that he cannot stay a day without his wife. So for me, I cannot stay a night that it freeze, unless it's business wise. My husband has to flew out of Canada to or out of province to a different province. That it freeze, I can't. We're meant to be together. This is my 9 years of marriage.
Thank you.
So I have to be with my husband. I have to lay my hand on his shoulder, touch that beard on the chest. You get what I mean? Even play with the one here. Honestly speaking, that is what they called. It's not just your husband, it's your companion, it's your better half. You get what I mean? How can my husband stay in a different room? If, like the other lady said, because of air condition, that means she cannot live in Canada. Oh, sorry to say. More especially Calgary, you can't live here. We have -50, -52 degrees. That's what we have here. Apparently now we have -30 something degrees here. So if you say it's cold, AC, I not see that kind of AC. Oh. When I take hot water up outside my house, before it get down, it's not ice. What AC will give you that kind of coldness? Even when it's on 16, 18 degrees, it cannot provide that. So you feel cold, babe. Wear your catheter, cover yourself. If you don't embrace your husband in bed, hold on, let me land. If you don't embrace him, babe, don't give room for other ladies to help you arrange it.
All right, guys.
Allow me to finish. This is my own opinion. That's my own opinion.
Hold on.
You
This
made
debate
reference
going
to
to
the
ask for
last lady. No,
Yes, because I heard that saying, the AC is cold. Your husband is your better half. He should understand whatever that suits your husband should suit you. Both of you should work together. That AC, put it in a medium volume of coldness so that it will not hurt her.
Can I say something? Can I say
Oh, yeah,
something? I
guys,
would like
wait.
to interject here. Okay,
Talk, oh.
lady, I applaud you. Your points are very valid.
Wait.
However,
Battery wants to die.
she could
Let me
not. No, you know, our people.
Patrick can't die. That please, this topic sweet.
Read my comments. Someone what was for the
No,
mic,
our
not work for
people
good.
say
Battery going to die. Battery going to
By
die.
fire, by force.
Going to die. Oh. Let me just remove everybody and end the show before I lose. Destiny, take care of yourself.
Thank you so much, Daddy Free.
Sorry, guys, I have to end the show. We're going to continue with this next week. This debate is hot. Thank you all so much. A lot of people are saying I agree, I disagree with the AC stuff. We're going to continue from tomorrow. I need to appreciate Georgina Onuoha. Please tag her in this. She's done so well. Thank you so much, my sister Georgina. I'm going to send you a DM. By the way, Georgina ages backwards. I don't know how she does it. Instead of her getting older, she gets younger. And yes, I enjoyed her contribution. I didn't agree with much of what she said, but I enjoyed her contribution. Jay Stevens sent 4,400 stars. Oh, more people they vexed today. Jay Stevens sent more stars than everyone except Teresa. Oh, more guys, thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I don't advise couples in the Free Nation. I encourage couples to live together, to stay in the same room, but I'm sure there are some situations where a couple cannot stay in the same room. Yes, and I understand and respect that. But at the same time, let's be careful not to find ourselves in a position where we normalize Oyinbo people's madness. And trust me, Oyinbo people, they mad. Thank you all so much on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. God bless you, and look forward to hosting you again tomorrow. Please make sure you send me stars. The fact that the show is over does not mean you cannot send stars. Just come over to Facebook. That's right. Top right hand corner, the search bar. Search for Daddy Freeze, DADDYFREEZE, and you will see my page. Send me stars. Take care, and thank you all. Georgina, thank you all so much. Let me save this video before I lose it. Thank you. Take care, and God bless. Come and buy stars. It's never late to